A king having a brother was itself an unusual situation. Ultimately, in the British Parliament, for the first time, they accept that the adoption is valid. The birth of a legal heir in the royal family of Mysore has always been a event of considerable importance. More so under when at least we will go back, we will try to analyze the time in which Jayachamraj Wadeyar was born. See, as you know, that Krishraj Wadeyar the fourth was the Maharaja at that time, was married in 1900 for whatever reason, and also added to the belief he had no children. Okay. After 10 years of Krishraj Wadeyar's marriage, in 1910, the Yuvaraja married. Yuvarani, as we call as Kempuchelwa Jammani, as is generally known. To give a little more perspective for the Bangaloreans, there is a hospital named after her, which probably many people are not aware of. That is KC General Hospital in Bangalore, Malleshwaram. Actually, its expansion is Kempuchelwa Jammani General Hospital, which is named after her. She herself came from an illustrious family. Her father was Dalwai Devaraja, who retired or died in service as one of the councillors, and he himself was a classmate of Chamraj Wadeyar when he was being tutored by no less than the British. After the death of Mummadi Krishraj Wadeyar, the onus of making Chamraj Wadeyar fit to rule the country, because at that time, as you know, the Mysore was under the commissioner's rule. So one of the, after a long-standing legal or political battle by Mummadi, ultimately in the British Parliament, agreed that the injustice was done to the Mysore Maharaja, and for the first time they accept that the adoption is valid. When Chamraj Wadeyar was adopted, there was no, Mummadi Krishraj Wadeyar adopted on his own accord. And most of the hierarchy, the British hierarchy here, they refused to acknowledge that you might have acknowledged it anyway, it is your personal affair. We attach no value to it, kind of this. And ultimately it went to such an extent, there was a full-fledged campaign in the British press in London at that time, telling that, because you have to see the time in which it was done, it was after the East India Company's regime ended and the Queen Victoria as an Empress of India started. That is around 1856 and onward. But still, this adoption was not upheld because Mysore was already under the commissioner's rule. It was assumed that, okay, Krishraj Wadeyar the third, or Mummadi as we call, will anyway die sooner or later, because one of the longest living king of our dynasty as well as India at any given, because he died much over 75 or 76, like that. So they thought after that it will be annexed, Mysore will be annexed and becomes a part of the British Empire. But somehow he fought all the way and took the campaign to the Parliament, House of Commons, discussed this issue. And ultimately the House of Commons, yes, the British promised, yes, the adoption is valid, the kingdom will be restored. But since Mummadi is already too old, there is no point in ending the commissioner's rule. So we will do as and when the adopted boy Chamraj Wadeyar comes of age, we will restore the kingdom back to him. So then they also took up the initiative to educate him enough in the modern way and make him fit to rule when this age comes. And one of the co-students of him was Kempuchelwa Jammani, Yuvarani's father. Papers of that time and the various this thing says he was extraordinarily a bright boy. They thought he would be a very brilliant boy, was what some of the British records say. But at the end of the day, he graduated through the hierarchies and became a councillor. And so this marriage took place in 1910. And when you look at it, for 9 long years there was no issues again, even from him, Yuvraj. Because This itself was an unusual situation in the Mysore history. Like a king having a brother was itself an unusual situation. After the regime of Raja Wadiyar in 1610 and around, so when all his sons died after the so-called curse situation, none of the rulers had virtually unusual coincidences used to happen, and nobody would live beyond their age or whatever it is. And things were a little confused to say whether this is what even the so-called curse, whether you believe or not, whether how is it evolves, was something which was not known. So though it was given as a fact that Krishnaraj Wadiyar may not have a issue, still it was unknown whether Yuvaraja himself will have children or not. So, and it so happened for 9 long years he had no children. Ultimately, when he was conceived, whether at that point of time nobody would know whether it is a boy or girl, but irrespective of it, a child being born in the royal family of Mysore was a little bit of probably what we will call the entire kingdom was anticipating. What it won over and above that, it was they said a World War situation. So when ultimately he was born and he was a boy, so it was a euphoria all over. So it is like the sweets were distributed in the streets all over the kingdom. Holiday was declared. Prisoners were, remission was given, they were let out. So you can understand it was an extraordinary situation. And over and above it, the World War I has ended. So they said, the normal practice of calling the grandfather's name Chamraj Wadiyar, instead of that they added a prefix Jaya. And that's how Jai Chamraj Wadiyar's birth became a much heralded event of that time, of that era. And probably we are, it may be, we are unable to appreciate, but if you go back to that point of time, obviously it was an important event and an historic event in the annals of the Mysore royal family, because it so happened he was the last of the monarch. Unusually. The dynasty ended with him for whatever the reason which has happened later on. So when you look at that, anyway, later on he had 3 more sisters and things like that. The happiness was brimming all over, in spite of Krishnaraj Wadiyar now having an issue. Because at that time already I was given to understand. So they were looking at some other play, who should be the king in Bagge next. So they were already looking at Krishnaraj Wadiyar's sister's son. So there was always a possibility that he would be one of the sister's son who would probably take over. So things changed for good, or whatever I wouldn't see. But anyway, that's how you have to put the perspective of his birth. So it is not just a birth of a prince, it was a historic event.
Veracity is there in that curse that we all know about. Is it so? Because that's how it's been happening.
Whether it is a myth, there are a lot of people who don't believe, what are you here in modern era, how can you believe in this kind of thing? It is all a built up story. It was where is the proof it happened? See, this is the period when there was a change of status of the Mysore king, from a small rulers of a small principality under the Vijayanagar Empire. They were fairly small. When some people, historic, say Lord of 33 villages and things like that around Mysore. See, when there is always, when in those days, when you look at it as Vijayanagar Empire or even Hoysalas or anybody, there used to be known as Samanta Rajas and things like that. It is virtually like when you look at the British Empire, there are all these kings are there, but they dare not fight against each other. They only be content with what their domain is. Only when the emperor or the Vijayanagar or whoever, they go on war, these people support him. But there is no inter-say fight among these people. So that means if you are a lord of some few villages, you remain the lord of something like that. But this was around the period when Vijayanagar Empire was weakening, and this ruler of Mysore, Raj Wadiyar, was quite assertive and was growing in stature. Circumstances, it so happened that in those days the Vijayanagar Empire had a local, what do you call it, the Viceroy of Vijayanagar Empire was ruling from Srirangapatna. Srirangapatna was the headquarters of this part of the town, where all the other rulers would be, the small time chieftains would be under his domain. There are some names like, I feel that Sriranga Railu, when they used to be called, I feel it is to do with the Ranga Railu means it is a title kind of. Sriranga and Srirangapattanam. So Sriranga Railu was a common appellate used to irrespective of what their real name was. So who was the Sriranga Railu number 1, 2, 3 and things like that, whatever that could have been there. And he was very old and weak, and he ultimately says, okay, you take over, I am retiring to Talkad and going away. So that's how, as from Mysore, the Raj Wadiyar shifts his base to and takes over the Srirangapatna fort and became the all-powerful ruler of this part of the town. After all, in any place, like whether the Srirangapatna temple, Ranganatha Swami temple was an all-important temple, and in any temple there are always rituals associated with the temple. One was that, on a particular day, the goddess Ranganayaki, as we call, would be adorned with some special jewels and things like that. And as used to happen in those days, the jewelry always used to be under the treasury of the royal family. Like even in Mysore, when you say Vairmudi or Rajmudi or any other Melkote temple, these things, they all used to be originally in Mysore palace. It used to be taken personally, given on a particular day. Now, in the normal democracy, things have changed because those jewelries have been confiscated by the modern era, and it is under the DC and things like that. But in the good old days, the jewelry was actually under the palace control and the palace treasury, and it would go to the temple on a particular day. So when in this particular in Srirangapatna, when the temple authority Purohit said, please give me the jewel, today is Friday, I want to do these things. They said, then they looked around, because suddenly he has come, he does not know. He said, where is it? Then somebody says, the wife of the last Viceroy, Sriranga, she has walked away with all the jewels. A small group of armies were sent to Talkad to get it. So when they were reaching, then when they know that the lady Ranganayaki, she said, no, this thing, what Alamelama as we call her. So she didn't want to part with it. She had an affinity to the goddess and the jewelry, and she is supposed to have cursed. As the legend goes, the wording is like this: Talakadu Maralagali. That means let the Talkad become a sand dune, this thing, and Malangi Maduvagali. That is where the river Malangi, in the river of Kaveri, where the small town is known as Malangi even today, where she jumps with the jewelry. And that becomes a sphere pool. A sphere pool where she can never be even traced. See, in a normal river, you would trace a person even if she jumped. That too in a Kaveri, not a deep sea, a deep river with lot of stones and all that kind of thing. It is not a difficult thing even if somebody jumps. But in this particular case, she says, let it Malangi Maduvagali, let it become a sphere pool, and she jumps into it with the jewel. And then say, Mysore Daragalage Makkalagdi. It means let the ruler of the Mysore not beget any. That is the story. So if somebody asks a written proof, nobody can give a written proof. Right? Because anyway it is a oral utterance. So it is like today's modern era, you don't have a video and other things to say whether it is true or false. So you have to take it with a pinch of salt whether you like it or not. But it so happened Immediately after that, the Maharaja's children died. Not that he didn't have children. He had sons. Maharaja had sons. It is not that grown-up sons. And they all died in quick succession. So much so that, the history of Dasara is intertwined with the death of the son. Because a day before the Dasara, the eldest son died. And the Maharaja was in utter confusion. Because in the normal parlance, we have what is known as Sutka, 10 days. So you cannot perform any religious event much. So he gets into a huddle with all the stalwarts, religious people and all that. Then they say, look, your sacred, what we call as kankana, has been tied. Okay, and you are not doing this just as an individual, you are doing it as a king. So nothing can deter you from doing your duties. So you can go ahead. The very starting of the Mysore Dasara is connected to this story. So if on that day the decision were taken not to do it, it wouldn't have been. The first Dasara in Srirangpatna, the first Dasara ever performed by the Mysore ruler, started with this story.